besties. Welcome back to Life After Losing You. I want to thank you so much for showing up to another episode 2 to be exact, and thank you from the bottom of my broken heart for holding space for me in this incredibly difficult chapter some may call seasons in my life. I really hope that I can return the favor. In the first episode, I took you back to the day that my entire world fell apart. The day he left. But like, for real this time. It was the day I realized the devastating truth that silence could be louder than any words he had ever spoken. I talked about the numbness, the denial, the sheer panic as I watched the text bubbles go from blue to green, realizing in that gut-wrenching moment our story had ended without closure. It was the first moment I truly felt the floor collapse beneath me, and if you haven't had a chance to listen to it, I would highly encourage you to take a few minutes to go back and to listen to it. Maybe it'll resonate with you. Maybe it'll resonate with your journey. Or maybe you'll recognize it in someone close to you and help you to move into this episode, as this is marking the beginning of everything that grief would become. You know how sometimes when you first wake up, there's this tiny, tiny moment, like this split second where you quickly look around the room, feeling completely weightless, emotionless, motionless, and you don't remember anything. Like you're in a cloud of something that's non-existent. You're like free from all burdens, from everything. There's no heartbreak, there's no grief, there's no tears. There's just blankness. Just pure blissful blankness. Like everything is fine, everything is back to normal, and nothing has happened. Man, I would literally do anything to stay in the moment of that every morning. But just like there's nothing certain in life but death and taxes, the truth inevitably comes crashing in and it hits you. And it hits you hard. It's like being punched square in the chest. Some days square in the face, and every day pretty much square in the stomach. It's like a horror story freight train barreling down your lifeline tracks with no way to stop it, no way to calm it, and no way to slow it down. And in an instant, your blissful blankness is exchanged for pure fear, terror, anxiety, and heartbreak. As soon as that moment passes, I reach for my phone like a lifeline. As fast as I can, thinking that if I take one more second to look at that screen, something terrible in the tech universe could happen. And I could miss that text or that notification, or that I missed that call I had been waiting for. But no. And I don't mean to shock anyone already this early in this episode, but the screen was empty. It's dark. It's silent. There's no messages, no missed calls, no Discord notifications, absolutely nothing. Just the picture of him on my home screen, a beautiful, haunting reminder of what I've lost. That literally killed me looking at it. And yet I don't have the patience, the guts, or the courage to remove it yet. I look at the screen, and the screen shows me silence. God, that silence. It's louder than anything I'd ever heard. It filled the room. It pressed into my chest, wrapped around my throat, and whispering cruel truths into my ears. You know, the ones that you hear where they tell you you're an idiot and how you ruined absolutely everything and it's all your fault. I couldn't breathe. Tears streamed from the corners of my eyes into my ears as I lay paralyzed, silently begging for the phone to light up to breathe hope and life back into my lungs. But it never did that day. And in that endless silence, I prayed to a God I wasn't even sure existed, pleading desperately for him to help me, to help him, to help us find our way, because this had to be a mistake, right? Or, if nothing else, to simply take me out of this unbearable world because I didn't want to exist without him. After that day, and nothing changed, days bled into nights, nights back into days. It was a relentless, blurred cycle. I dragged myself out of bed, stumbling aimlessly to the bathroom, to the kitchen, only to feel hollowed out and lost. Every mirror I passed showed a ghost with sunken eyes, pale skin, a shadow I barely recognized, and when I had the courage to look up at my face, it was the face of a monster, a killer of my own soul. Food lost its taste, sleep became a distant dream, and my bedroom ceiling became my confidant and my tormentor, all at the same time. Holding my gaze for hours, reflecting every painful memory, every cruel replay of our story. Songs once filled with joy became haunting, repeatingly, endlessly in my head like a torturous soundtrack I couldn't turn off. And of course, reminding me that my inner hurt ego and confidence, that his life was so much better than mine, and I would do anything to be a part of it. I thought I needed to talk to someone, anyone. And so I'd get up the courage and I'd reach out. I'd dial numbers, but when they picked up, nothing would come out. My throat would close, my voice cracked, and all that could emerge was an agonized sob. No one could understand because I couldn't even begin to explain. How do I begin to explain the grief? It was too deep. It was too heavy. It was all-consuming. My life was in shambles, and I'm a disaster. And so, the days became indistinguishable. Day 2, day 5, day 7, all blurred into one. Each morning identical. Waking to dread, emptiness, and suffocating silence. I'd walk around touching things that reminded me of him, chasing echoes of his presence. And I'd drive to work in silence as I couldn't listen to the radio because everything reminded me of him. Every word and every lyric was a dagger right through the heart and the soul in the memory of us. The memory of him. I couldn't go through a Tim Hortons drive-thru because that would remind me of him as he would fake giggle that getting scanned for rewards on the phone tickled him. I would do everything and anything, trying to feel closer to him, but only pushing myself deeper into the darkness. I would try to reach out, but the bubbles remained green and the silence remained still, and the agony of losing the love of my life just sank in deeper and deeper as the seconds passed. And then came the breaking point. The desperation, the impulsive, and the absolute crazy 20-hour or 1,800-kilometer drive to Kansas City. I thought if I could just see him, look him in the eyes, he would remember us. He would remember the happy times. He would remember how much we loved each other. That entire drive Anxiety and hope battled inside me. My knuckles white on the steering wheel, eyes heavy at times, but too anxious to sleep. And of course, the music off because every song was ours. Each mile felt longer than the last till I finally made it there. And while an email would get me into the door for the night, the following day would tell another tale. That night, though, that night, for a brief moment, intimacy would happen. And that moment of intimacy brought hope across my whole body. It brought silence, but good silence that I've been craving. A moment of calm, a moment of clarity, a moment of safety, and a sense of euphoria. That dopamine hit that my body had been craving for over a month was finally getting hit, and it was the best high my body had felt. But as any addiction, the high fell hard to a crash and a burnout. The morning brought us going for a walk with our dog and talking about the sexual things we were going to do while I remained there and then out for some breakfast. Breakfast became the crash. As the conversations got hard, they became awkward, and the silence ultimately led to that harsh reality, a cold, definitive rejection that echoed louder than any words we'd shared. I shattered right there on the couch in the apartment that I helped pick out, in the life that I helped build. I look around the apartment that I helped decorate and I helped furnish. However, instead of crumbling into despair, I self-confidently got up. I packed everything up with a passive-aggressive hurt, and as I collected my things, I walked out the door. The drive home was darker, lonelier, in every road, and every landmark, every landmile, painfully etched with memories of what once was. That trip cemented my grief. It made the loss real, tangible, and absolutely undeniable. After that, triggers were everywhere. Songs we loved, shows we watched, games we played. Each one became landmines waiting to explode. Grocery shopping turned into emotional warfare. Aisles lined with products we debated about, laughing together once, but now I stood alone. Letting tears in a frozen food section as grief tore at my heart. Even driving became unbearable. Every route familiar, linked to his voice through endless phone calls. The car felt too big, too empty, and every turn another memory. Every stoplight a reminder of whispered promises now broken. I started avoiding places, roads, and everything that reminded me of him. But it didn't matter, because everything did remind me of him. He was everywhere, and his absence was crushing. There wasn't a road in a 100-kilometer radius that didn't hold laugh, love, and memories of him. Our long-distance love had filled every tiny gap in my days, woven into every aspect. Our calls had become my breath, our texts my heartbeat, and losing him wasn't just losing a person. It was losing my entire world. The small, precious routines that gave life meaning, that gave me meaning. It was loss. It's inescapable. It's a suffocating loss. And this is what grief looks like. It isn't pretty tears and gentle sadness. It's raw. It's brutal. It's silence that screams. It's days without meanings. And it's aches in your bones. Grief is the constant presence of absence. Grief is dark. Grief is consuming. Grief changes you. It hollows you out until you're not sure who you are anymore. to the point where you're unrecognizable to your friends and even scarier to yourself. Grief looks like sitting in front of a microphone recording this very podcast because talking about it hurts. But the truth is, not talking about it hurts even more. Grief is trying to normalize the crazy, wanting to normalize the woman who bought the tarot cards, the woman who drove across the border, the one who cried in a fetal position for 3 days just because a song came on the radio. Because, in all honesty, and in fact, grief isn't cute. It's not poetic. It's not brave. It's wild. It's feral. It's real. And it's completely unfair. Grief can make you feel so unlovable, unhinged, and unseen. But let this be your reminder you're not alone. You're just human, and heartbreak also doesn't play fair. I wish I could tell you it got better quickly. There's a magical moment when things shift. But the truth is, grief doesn't play by the rules. It moves slowly, at its own pace, and some days it feels like drowning. But if you're in that darkness now, know that I am here too, sitting in silence beside you. Maybe together we can find out what comes next. On a serious note, I do want to talk about that if you are listening right now and feel unsafe or overwhelmed, please reach out for help. You're not alone and support is available. Heck, feel free to message me. Talk to someone you trust or contact a crisis line. And if you're listening because someone you care about is grieving, the best thing you can do is simply be present. Listen without judgment, offer gentle support, and remind them they're not alone. And show up. Even when they say that they just want some time alone, show up. This concludes the episode. I thank you again so much for sitting around and listening. I'll be dropping the next episode on Monday. And again, if you're looking to join the community so we can have some chats and some conversations, I suggest that you look up Life After Losing You on Instagram, on TikTok, or the private group on Facebook. And until next time, gentle with yourself. You're doing better than you think. Take care.